Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our Friday session, the Namaste Experience. I'm so happy to be able to join. And today is a very happy day for many reasons, one of which is we have a birthday to celebrate today. Every birthday is important and completely unimportant at the same time. But today, we are going to be celebrating the birthday of our dear Victoria Poppy. Today is Vicky's birthday. I'm looking and I don't see you. Is Vicky here? There she is. Good morning, Vicky, with Bonnie. Good to see you. Unmute so we can say hi to you.
Thanks, Brother James. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Leslie. Thank you, everyone. What a gift.
Happy birthday, Vicky.
To be
Hold on 1 second. We don't have sound yet.
Okay.
Un momento.
Thank you.
That's why. Okay, try it now.
Okay. Good morning, Brother James. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my dear family. Hi,
Vicky,
Judy.
1 second. We should have sound. Okay, we're just gonna
Happy
have to put it up
birthday,
to the
Vicky.
microphone here.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you, everyone. You're my birthday present. You know, it's a collaborative venture. Here we are.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Vicky. Happy birthday to you.
Now, if we all do that, we're never gonna get anywhere. So, Vicky, what were you saying?
Okay.
What were you saying, Vicky?
I consider myself sung to. Thank you. But everybody's presence is that melody and that song in 3 dimension as we just spend this moment together. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, James. Thank you. I love you. Love you. Love you all.
Instead of doing, if we all try and sing happy birthday, it's going to be a complete disaster. So what we can do is we can tone her name, whether we're here at Namaste Village or wherever we are in the Zoom world. So let's just send all of our love to Vicky and all of our gratitude for all the love and the light that she brings to us. And let's tone Vicky. And so it is. We love you, Vicky. Happy birthday.
It is. Thank you.
All right. So, where do we go today? We've had quite a week, haven't we? Lots of revealing and opening and vulnerability and just allowing spirit to break through all of those boundaries and all of that armor that we wear around our whole selves to keep from realizing that we are whole, that we are complete and healed and whole in every way. And so today I want to share something that's very vulnerable again. And you know, I really debated last night whether I would or should even share this, because it took me to a place of such tremendous surprise and humility. I thought, well, this is very personal. This is something maybe just for you, and maybe it wouldn't be appropriate to share. But the more I sat with it, the more I thought that as we open and allow and don't keep any secrets, but allow our stories to be the healing extension, to heal us and to heal others, this is a good thing. So I decided to go ahead and share. And it's really in 2 parts. The first, as you know, on Monday, I went very deep into a sharing, acknowledging that I have a situation, a need, a healing needed around alcohol, and that I had decided to enter the program and to stay sober. And as I shared that day, and as I've been to many AA meetings over the past week and a half, it was difficult for me of course, in many ways, I could relate completely to the men and women that were sharing, but in other ways, I would hear the stories of truly desperate situations and people who hit rock bottom in very dramatic ways, and even read something in the meeting that said that unless you truly hit rock bottom, you're never going to be able to recover. And I thought, well, that puts me into a difficult situation, because if I hit rock bottom at all, it was a very high rock bottom. Because I've never been in a situation where drinking interrupted my life, or I was never arrested, or I never drove when I was drinking, or any situation that I heard from so many people. So yesterday I found that voice that's within all of our head saying things to me like, you don't really need to do this. I mean, you weren't that bad. So you'd sit upstairs and drink a little tequila at night. You never really got drunk. I mean, do you really need to do this? And I just sat with that, and I knew, luckily I recognized that that is the voice of that addictive part of all of us, sometimes called the ego, because the ego is nothing more than that which holds us in these addictive programs, keeps us from seeing how whole and how holy we are. And we do need to look at all of our addictions, including the addiction to be human, including the addiction to be weak and vulnerable and to grow sick, old, sick, and die. All of those things are addictions keeping us from the realization that we are as God created us, right? But I began to hear that voice thinking, you know what, you're going to Italy pretty soon. Are you really going to go to Italy and not drink any wine? I mean, come on, be reasonable. And I felt like I was in a wrestling match with this voice. And even if I'd say, be still, be still. In fact, I'm looking into the back of the room and I see that today's lesson from A Course in Miracles is the stillness of peace of God is mine. The stillness of the peace of God is mine. And that's what my prayer was. Be still and be in that Christ light. Just stay there. Just bathe there. And yet it still kept coming. And in the midst of this, I began to feel, especially knowing that I would be going to Assisi in a couple of months, I began to think, I need an example of someone who is living this life, someone who is truly committed, just as St. Francis committed 800 years ago, because he was always my model of someone who had given everything for everything. He gave up all worldly possessions so that he could live with the poorest of the poor, and in doing so, receive so much. And I felt like I need an example of this. There must be someone in the world who is at least trying to live that life that Francis lived, a life of total commitment. And we all need examples of that, don't we? So this is late last night, and I decided to do I was on YouTube, and I just searched, I think I put in a modern day St. Francis, hoping that someone would come up that I could, maybe even contact and talk to and draw inspiration from. And when I put that in, right at the top of the page, I found a link for a priest who lives in England, a Franciscan. And the title of the video, I think, was A Modern Day St. Francis Lives Among Us. I thought, wow, okay, I want to know who that is. And so I started listening to this priest talk, and he was very inspired by a particular man who was doing his best to live as Francis. And I was anxiously waiting for him to finally say who this was, because, as I said, I really wanted to meet this person. It was me. And when he said James Twyman, I broke down. It's like, no way. If you only knew. If you only knew. And then I said to myself, if you only knew. If you only knew what you've shared and how it's affected people. And this man, he went on and on about all these things that, and I guess I had done, and I was filled with such, I can't really even explain it. It was on one hand such humility, and then on the other hand, of course, I did feel that a hint of unworthiness. Am I really worthy of someone like this thinking that I'm a modern day St. Francis? I'm not, but I could be. Just as we all perhaps think, I wonder what it would be like to be a modern day Christ, to live as Christ, to live with our hearts so open. And probably everyone here would say, well, I'm not, but I could be. What would that mean? What would that mean for me to be inspired by me? I mean, somehow this man was inspired by me, and he's a Franciscan. So what would it take for me to be inspired by me? What would it take for any of us to be inspired by ourselves? And to realize that we are that right now. We shouldn't be out there looking for someone else, because I am that. I am the living Christ right now. And there are times when I am about as far from living that as could be. And yet, with each and every single one of us, it's always right there, waiting for us to fully accept. And in that moment, I fully accepted that, at least in this man's eyes, I was a modern day St. Francis. And maybe I could just receive that, not block it. Maybe I could just let that in and see where it takes me. Maybe that's going to inspire me to do better. Maybe that's going to inspire me to find new ways that I can live such simplicity, such dedication, such service to others as St. Francis did. There's not more I can say about that, because it was such a shock. And I'm just sort of being with it. This is my journey today. On one hand, how can I release into the vulnerability of knowing that it is in my best interest to not drink? I mean, I can remember, well, an example would be maybe the time when I was living the most like St. Francis was right before COVID, traveling across the country, sharing this St. Francis musical, living penniless, not having a penny to our name, Bill Free and I, not having a penny to our name, no credit cards, no plan. We knew that we had 30 events to do across the country before we reached New York. That was one of the best experiences of my life. And yet every single night, I'd be hoping that wherever we stayed, I hope they have a beer. I hope they have some wine. And I would think about that during the day. Yeah. I wonder if St. Francis ever thought that. Probably not. So yes, I do need to stay attentive to this choice of sobriety. And it doesn't matter that I never hit rock bottom like other people did, or that I was an extremely high functioning alcoholic. None of that matters. What matters is the choice to live this completely, as St. Francis did, as the Christ is calling each one of us to do. So, once again, I didn't know if I would share that this morning, but I'm glad I did. So, And I decided to wear my dad's, this is my father's army jacket, as you can see, because with Francis, in his early life, all he wanted to do was to be a great knight. He wanted to go to battle and to win great victory so that one day people would exalt his name. And this is kind of a symbol of letting all of that go. We don't need to play that game anymore. So Vicky, the birthday girl, I'm going to turn it over to you and hear what you'd like to share.
James, I have a few things to share. First, I just love you. And you know, that little story didn't surprise any of us. I know it didn't surprise me. I turned to Bonnie and said, of course, it's going to be Jimmy he's talking about.
Oh, I know, hold on. Hold on, Vicky. I'm still trying to get us up on the, no, it didn't work. Okay, I'm gonna have to put the microphone up to it. Okay, Vicky, go ahead. Oh, hold on. We're having sound trouble this morning. Okay, Vicky, I think you're frozen. I think Vicky disappeared. Where'd she go? If the rest of you can hear Vicky in Zoom land, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay, you guys can't hear her either. Vicky, if you're there, you went dark, and I don't know if you're still here. Okay, she'll be back. So let's turn to, let me find someone else that I can turn to. So maybe someone that we don't often hear from. Let me see. Well, I keep finding myself pulled to Sharon Alton. I don't know why, but Sharon is always so inspirational. And so Sharon, I'm going to turn to you. What would you like to share while we're waiting for Vicky to come back?
Oh, I thank you so much. I can't even tell you how I'm probably speaking for everyone when I say we're just overwhelmed with your transparency, and your desire for truth is ours as well, mine as well. Thank you, James. My gosh, it comes to me back to all of our forgiveness lesson of what I was saying yesterday. So I forgive myself for using this addiction to prove that I'm separate from God. I forgive myself for using this hurricane to prove that I'm separate from God. My cancer, my addiction to shopping, my anything is all of ours, proving over and over again the idea. And it's all it is a simple idea. And which idea do we follow? Is it the ego's idea? Its bearings it likes to feel comfortable with in this world of addictions, and I need this, this, and this. We need nothing. We need absolutely, it is the I need do nothing. Not that you don't answer a call for love, because those are symbols of awakening. Nothing real can be threatened, because that's what we are. That I think Vicky's back, and I just, that's all. It comes back to the last thing I said yesterday. And so I forgive myself for using this person, you know, my husband, my Trump, it can be anything at all, insert in there. It's such a great mantra that I've been using lately. So I forgive myself for using this world to prove that I'm separate from God. Is Vicky back?
Wow.
Yes, I am. And
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Vicky. Thank you, Sharon.
oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Sharon. Thank you, James. And the truth is, here we are. We are the examples of Francis, of Claire, of Therese, Teresa, because we are the living Christ right where we are. We are the modern day Christ. awakening to that just as they were. And Jesus, of course, gave us such a good example and gave us each other's hands to hold, to recognize that's all that's going on. So I thanks for your example, but I said just before I got disconnected, it had to be you that little Franciscan brother was speaking about. Just like that's no surprise to any of us. And we see that, we recognize it, and we recognize we're a part of that. We're all one with that. And today, though, I did have one thing, because it's my birthday, I wanted to give a birthday gift. And in today's lesson, if any of you look at it, the stillness of the peace of God is mine gives very explicit directions. And I love it when Jesus is very clear and he gives straight direction. No ifs, ands, or buts, no going around any bush. He says, this is how you do this. And this is one of those lessons. And in the first paragraph, he says, and I'm remembering it, so it's not exactly, when a disturbance comes, and this is the set of directions, you ready? And remember, none of this is so for us unless we do follow these directions. And all he says is dismiss. Remember, swish, swish, dismiss. He says, dismiss the thought, the experience of the disturbance. Dismiss it and return and declare with certainty, the stillness of God is mine. 100% unequivocal attention on, okay, no matter what, the stillness of the peace of God is mine. And to me, it was a great birthday gift to wake up with a set of very clear instructions, because all of us, Francis did, Claire did, Jesus did, we all fall down. We all have an ego that tries to creep in the back door and give us a label that we're not. None of our costumes and none of our identities are. They're just ways now to communicate. That's all we're asked to do. Let our bodies, let everything we do, the Zooms, the meetings we go to, the work that we do, be ways to say, I love you to one another. That's our only purpose here. And when any other thing comes up, any identity, any problem, dismiss it, he says, dismiss it. It's engaging it. It's in discussing it and fighting and trying to figure it out that it's sustained. But as we dismiss it and return our attention with certainty, no, the stillness of the peace of God is mine and is me. And I wanted to share. So that's my birthday gift to all of you. And this is another little gift I said with my son, Teddy, as he was growing up every day. When he'd get out of the car for school, we'd rub our hands together and bless each other and say, dear God, this is your day. Show me your way. And we would say, now I can't remember it. Oh, I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm never alone. God's love surrounds me wherever I go. I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm never alone. God's love is me wherever I go. So that's it. Those are the sets of directions. God's love is us. That's how it expresses here. And we're expressing it as perfectly as we're called to. And the imperfections, all we have to do is dismiss them. So, but it doesn't become our experience unless we do it. We must do it. That's how it becomes experience. So thank you, Brother James. Thanks, everyone. I love you all.
Thank you, Vicky. Yes, the love of God is who and what I am. You know, that's something for each one of us to embrace, to know. I don't know if you're going to go on YouTube tonight and find a video that says, it's actually you. But I'm telling you that it is actually you. And it always has been. It doesn't have anything to do with what you've done or how you've acted or the people you've hurt or the people you've loved. It's you, and it always has been. So you don't need to be shocked and even a little embarrassed, as I was, when this beautiful man suddenly thought this crazy thing about me. But I'm going to do what I can to live up to it. I'm going to do what I can to deserve that. and to know that I've always deserved it. We all have, because it's who we are. The Christ, the extension of the love and the loveliness of God, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter, is who we are right now. That's the simple message. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. We could talk for hours, and many people will, but we don't need to. We just need to go out and live it. What else could we do on a beautiful Friday, right? So thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Sharon. Thanks to all of you. As always, we are so blessed to be able to join together and share so deeply, and to keep affirming the truth that is forever true. Namaste. We love you all. Happy Friday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
We love you
Happy
guys.
birthday, dear
Dear
Vicky.
Vicky.
Happy birthday.
Happy